Satnam aloha, everyone. So today I want to talk about the full moon that's coming up on November 5th. So it's activating the second gate, and it's activating this channel. So I want to talk about that. But first, I want to talk about what's the fractal saying? Meaning, I post, I don't know if you know this, I post daily on the YouTube community channel. There's lots of action there. And if you subscribe to my channel, then you'll be notified when I post. So I post daily, and a lot of my posts are on the transits of the day, according to human design. So Instagram, there's not as much action there, and then Telegram. So this was something that I posted this week when the sun was in the 28th gate, line 2. And so the keynote for that is it's called Shaking Hands with the Devil. So this is the trading your soul's growth for predictability. This is settling for the ego's comfort. So this will be the temptation that you may have experienced this week or will continue to experience. So this is the ego's oldest contract. It's what you're moving forward on your journey, and this is the voice that comes forward in your head. It's the oldest contract. And so the light of the sun, because the sun was in the 28.2, burns through that illusion so it can be seen for what it is, a survival spell, not truth. And the ego's oldest contract is always promising you security and safety, right? In exchange for your freedom. So an example of that would be to take that job, right? That gives you that steady paycheck every 2 weeks. And it's doing nothing for your soul. Your soul is starving, but you get that paycheck every 2 weeks. That's when the ego is saying, trade your freedom, trade your self-sovereignty as a soul, trade your power as a soul in exchange for this, to check every 2 weeks. So anyway, I just wanted to comment on this. That someone posted underneath this meme, and present day yoga says, just this morning I felt a whispered urge encourage me to relax and stop focusing on my spiritual growth. It said I could just take things easy and get back to the flow of regular life. It was weirdly placed. It stood out. I observed it and I declined. So snaps for present day yoga, for catching this voice. And this is how subtle this voice can come in. You don't have to do your meditation today. You've had such a hard day. You don't have time, right? Maybe sit down and have some tea or something like that. Why are you efforting? Right? You need to, comes across as the comfort. It's the comforting the ego, but keeping you off your spiritual path. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. This is how it works, right? Present day yoga is doing the work. All I'm saying is here's the cosmic weather. Here's the program, and watch. Watch what happens during the program. Hey, you said it was going to rain, and I decided I'm going to bring my umbrella today. Thank you for that, right? So it's like this. This is the program. This is the cosmic weather. And this, the deeper I get into this system, it's just so amazingly accurate in myself, in my own awareness, but seeing it played out in the world too, the world stage. Okay, so subscribe to my channel if you want to be, notified when I post. I post every single day. So things like this. So thank you, Present Day Yoga, for commenting. And I love, I'm not just saying this, I really love to watch and look at the comments below the video, especially if they're relevant to the content. Okay. And it helps everybody when you share your wisdom, especially you projectors, right? And the high priestess is in hiding. It's time to like write something down. Hey, I'm coming out of hiding. Yeah, I can relate to this. This is what happened. Okay. So that's what the fractal's saying. And let's go into this full moon. Well, the first thing I want to say is the movie has changed. The movie has changed. Look at this, right? These are the nodes. The north node is in the 63. The south node is in the 64. I call these the crazy gates. And maybe you have one of these. Let me know in what planet it activates and what line. And they're the crazy gates because I feel strongly that the top of the head should end here. This is the crown chakra that's above the head, right? And the people that have the 64, the 61, the 63, depending on what planet it's activating, it's just you're never quite fully here, right? There's always a part of you that's connected to the higher realms, right? You never can quite ground fully. And is that a bad thing? No. Whatever your design is perfect for you, right? So what does this mean then, the nodes? Because you always hear about, well, the south node is what we're leaving behind and the north node is what we're reaching for. That goes with your natal chart as well. Yes, there's a truth to that, but we're talking human design right now. And so the nodes show you the movie. So we're here as a passenger consciousness. In our vehicle is our body, our physical body. So there's an awareness within you, a watcher, an observer, higher self, whatever you want to call it, that's watching this movie, right? There's an illusion that there's all this movement that's happening, right? Then I get up in the morning and I get dressed. I do my sadhana first. If you're on my fractal, you want to do your sadhana first. And then I eat, and then I move out of the house, I go to my job, my appointment or whatever, and there seems to be this movement, right? My body's moving. I'm moving through the world. But really, when you look at it from the observer, you're watching a movie, you're watching your body move, right? In this movie, you're watching the sun go up and the sun go down, right? It's all part of the movie. But each one of us has our unique movie to watch. So this is the collective movie that we'll be watching now. So this is the thing when you know your chart, your individual unique chart. It's like, oh, I can't stay focused on this movie, 63, 64, because that's not my movie. I have a different movie. And maybe you have a different movie, right? But it's just good to be aware of what the collective movie is and how we can work with this, because we're part of, yes, you're an individual wave in the ocean, but we're all connected to the ocean. So it would behoove us to know what the movie is, where our collective attention is being pointed towards, right? So since June 2025 of this year, June 2025, the global movie that's been playing in the background has been 22 and 47. So the 47 and then the 22. And you can see by the full moon, this moves, right? So what was the movie before, so we can lock this in? Well, it was the movie of grace and oppression, right? So grace is the 22 that comes off the solar plexus. And then the 47 is the ajna. You see there? So the south node was the 47, and then the north node was the 22. So still Pisces Virgo axis. So this is the movie of grace and oppression. So the South Node 47.1, we're actually in it right now as I'm recording on October 31st, Halloween. The background field was about a mental pressure, mental pressure, confusion, and the weight of old narratives, old stories from our past, ancestral stories from the past, the 47, right? It's oppression. So this was the mirror of the collective trauma. And that's been since June 2025. You see that in the world stage, the collective trauma with the war and conflict and uprisings, all that, right? We're seeing this the collective movie is playing these old stories out, these old stories of oppression, 47. The stories humanity tells itself about suffering, right? And then the first line, it's asking us to face reality soberly, to see what is and what we wish were true. I wish it wasn't like this. I wish we didn't have war on the planet. Why does it have to be this way? Right? Instead of the movie as the sober, you have to look at it like this. I know this sounds like I'm a hard ass and completely callous and disconnected from my heart. And it's like, no, I'm in the frequency of truth. The frequency of truth is that out here is the movie. And if you go to a movie theater, you can't run up to the screen and say, I don't like what you're doing, this character is doing. You need to, I don't like what you're doing, I'm going to punch you out, right? I'm going to tell on you. No, it's a movie. You sit in your seat and you watch the movie. So that's what we're being called to do now, because all the change, right? All the change and the transformation, it's an inside job. You got to, right? You have to change. That's how we change the world, is we change ourselves, right? So this is the lesson that we've been in, is to watch, right, from neutrality and seeing this. And it doesn't mean that not connected to your heart, like understand through compassion or misunderstand the times. That's the sutra of this time. You have your heart open, you're compassionate, but you're sober. And sober means that I see the truth of this situation, and this is part of the awakening of humanity. And we have to see it. We have to be brave and courageous enough to look at the shadow. When you look at there's an old, I don't know if this is from the Bible, but if you have the courage to see it, then God can fix it, right? The divine can fix it, but you need to see it. As humanity, we need to see this shadow, no matter how ugly it is. So this isn't the time to put your head in the sand like an ostrich. Right, is to be able to be courageous, to see the shadow, have compassion, but knowing in truth there's nothing really you can do about it. This is just the unfoldment. And the best use of your energy is to really go within and do your own inner work. And then you're empowered. And then you have power actually to do something if you're called to. But until you're at that place, you have no power. Okay, so then the North Node was in the 22, and that was grace. This is right of the solar plexus. That's the gate of grace, great openness, social openness. So this pointed towards a refinement, right? The movie was about the refinement of our emotional frequency, because it's coming off the solar plexus. So learning grace under pressure. Right, so it invited us to open the solar plexus as an awareness system. Remember, we're going through a huge solar plexus mutation as a humanity. This is a huge evolutionary quantum leap in our evolution. 2027 and onward, this is mutating. Our emotional body is mutating. So this movie allowed us to open up our emotions, right? And not to be victimized by our emotions, right? Not to be making our decisions from an emotional state. And we saw this in the movie. A lot of people letting their emotions get the best of them, right? But we're opening this up into an awareness system. An awareness system. What does this mean? This is emotional intelligence. What's emotional intelligence? That you're able to observe your emotions without collapsing. You're able to feel the anger that's moving through you, the wave. Remember, I talk about the wave, the emotional wave that moves through you. You're able to observe it. You don't attach yourself to it. You don't identify with it. You're able to watch it. That's what emotional intelligence is. And this is the awareness that's coming, right? Until that wave comes to a still point. So having that grace under pressure, can I hold my grace? Can I allow all this anger and rage to move through me and not act from it? Can I observe it? Can I not collapse under the anger and rage or depression or whatever emotions you've been going through, right? You're not reacting. That's the big one. Emotional intelligence is I'm not reacting from this place. Remember, there's no truth in the now when you're in an emotional state, because the emotions come and go. They'll come and go. So the human mind, just as the collective, right? The human mind was confronting its own heaviness, oppression, right? It's a heaviness connected to its past. The 47 is ancestral, right? It's an ancestral. That's why we're seeing this deja vu stories over and over. I know this story. It's like, so it's so old. It's like it came out of the history books. I opened up the history book and out came the story. The movie started playing, right? And it's the heaviness, and you're feeling the heaviness of your ancestors. But remember, your ancestors were in I'm talking about your recent ancestors since 1615, the cross of planning. They were motivated to make different decisions. There's no power of the individual in the cross of planning, none whatsoever. But now we're in this new time. And the new time is we're here to make different choices than our ancestors, right? We're more evolved than our ancestors. Our awareness is a lot more expanded than our ancestors. But we have to see it. So that heaviness, that's ancestral weight, right? That's the oppression. Okay, so this was basically from June until November. We've been in this, right? This heaviness, learning to, and the heaviness of the emotions too, not just the mind. So learning to stay in this state of grace, right? Graceful, keeping your dignity while these structures unravel. Right? That's what we're seeing in the world. All these cross-planning structures are unraveling now. They're dismantling. So this was like a prep film that we've been watching, like a prep movie we've been watching it, and it's preparing us for this solar plexus mutation, flushing out all the shadow, all the emotional shadow, the emotional ego, flushing that out, revealing and suffering, any suffering patterns we took on and inherited from our ancestors, and cultivating poise and centeredness, grace, remaining in your center. I talked about that with the Neptune video, to meet the next phase, the next chapter in our evolution, in the next movie. So now we're moving from this 4722, right? And now we're going to pan up here. We're all the way up here in the crown, the 64 and the 63. So this is confusion and doubt. So the next movie is all about confusion and doubt. So now the frequency is moving from emotional to mental now. So humanity begins testing what's true. We're already seeing this, right? What's true? I don't know what's real. I don't know what's false and fake. And this is happening until about April, November to April, the gate 64, 63. So this is the transition from confusion to inner knowing. Okay. So this is right. We're moving out of this emotional processing. We're still probably going to have emotional processing, but it won't be as strong. So going through grief, nostalgia, overwhelm, revelations about your relationships and truth. And many people, right, are crying. They don't know why they're crying. They're just crying. This goes back to the solar plexus mutation. So the collective will be flooded, right? Flooded with this crown here of imagery, possibilities, revelations, artists, visionaries, idea people, or suddenly will be prolific, but it will feel chaotic and half-baked, right? It won't feeling like it's landing, right? Because it's up here in the crazy gates. It's not going to land. So this is the pressure that we'll all feel, is to make sense of this movie that we're in. We're in a crazy movie now. Even the most asleep people are kind of noticing that, like, oh, something strange happening. Well, the matrix is starting to break down because a new era is coming, and that's the sleeping phoenix, and that's 2027. So this is all like left brain stuff, right? Pattern testing. Humanity turns from feeling to questioning. What can be proven? Right? Collectively, we move. I feel this is true. To I need to verify it. I need to verify it. So we're going to have strong polarization between the people who demand evidence. Give me the proof. All the left brain people, analytical people. And then the others who insist that truth is intuitive. Right? So this is the era of discernment, and we're learning to think clearly again after this emotional flooding that we've gone through as a humanity. So how you may feel it, like your personal, how this collective movie may affect you, you may wake up with a lot of mental noise, right? Dozens of creative ideas and worries, even like a lot of crazy worries, downloads, half-formed visions, past experiences that you've had that start replaying scenes from your relationships, your childhood, or your recent transformation that you've been going through. And the mind is like showing you a montage. So the lesson is not to identify with the mind. The mind is under a great deal of pressure right now as we move through into the sleeping phoenix. So you don't want to rush to interpret. Just let the mind do its thing. It's like a film reel. It's doing something. It's processing something. You just stay out of its way, the mind, and then the insight will come later, the clarity. People with the 64 and the 63 and the 61 and know exactly what I'm talking about. So this isn't cynicism. You're learning discernment. You're learning about your mind, and you're learning about discernment. Is this garbage from my subconscious mind, or is there something that I need to look at? Right? You're discerning. So it's learning you restraint, right? The power of restraint is just to let things be, sit back as the passenger, observe, let your mind do its thing. And then you might start, in terms of spiritual teaching or any spiritual paths you've been following, you may start to say, does this really work for me? That's another thing that could happen. Is this really working for me? Or you're in a relationship and it's like, is this really going anywhere, this relationship? Right? Is it really working for me now? So the goal is clarity without closing. It's about staying open. Keep yourself open. You're not rushing in to make big decisions. Right? Stay open and clarity will come without closing yourself. So using doubt, you can use doubt of the mind to strengthen inner trust rather than destroy faith. It's like, okay, some doubt's coming up about this relationship. I'm going to look at that. I'm going to stay open. I'm going to look at this, but I'm not going to let it completely destroy my faith in the divine. So you want to run everything through a truth experiment. So you want to try it in the body. Does this, remember divine feminines? Your body is your oracle. Does it ring true in my body? Does my body open? Right? Maybe my mind is in doubt and confusion, but I go to my body. Is my body open to this? Right? Do I relax into this? And if you're a manifesting generator, am I being pulled into some experience, some new experience? This is what you trust is your body. Right? So you run it through your body first. And replace I believe, right? I believe, you want to replace I believe with I'm just observing. This is the scientists, right? I'm just observing, seeing what happens. And notice what consistently proves itself true through your lived experience. Remember, this is the age of experience. The age of Aquarius is the age of experience. Direct experience. Your life is your greatest teacher now, especially if you're a third line or sixth line. The third lines and sixth lines know this. That's why the third lines have to come out of hiding and start telling us. You can start right here in the comment section. I'm a third line and I did this and it didn't work out. We want to hear what didn't work for you. That's what you're here to share with other people. Right? This did not work for me when I tried this. Right? We need more third lines coming out of the closet. Same with the sixth lines, those first 30 years. Right? If you're past 30 as a sixth line, you're here to share what did not work. We don't want to hear what worked. We want to hear what didn't work. Okay. Okay. So with the collective, we can see with the new movie, and I may do a whole video on the movie because I have a lot more to share. We could see this in media and AI, like the explosion of the deep fakes, right? AI generated news, pushing society into this confusion. I'm confused with this glut of information. I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not true. And then the pushback 63 brings new truth verification systems, right? So more of those, they have them, a few of them already. You can tell if somebody's, like the teachers, they can tell if a student got AI to write an essay. They'll be able to flag that, flag if it's a deep fake, flag if this is an AI video. We may start to see that out too in the movie. And then we could also see in the spiritual communities with this new movie, we could see like the new age teachings that people don't want that anymore. They want grounded embodiment. They want grounded embodiment teaching. So community split between those seeking real integration and those clinging to fantasy. And that's completely normal for this time because we're moving into the unknown. Humanity is moving somewhere that they've never been before. So, of course, fantasy, the mind will go into fantasy about what that's going to be. And it's all underneath that is the fear of the unknown. So we could see community split in that way. Politics and economy, I don't talk about politics, but I look at it symbolically. It's a symptom of the program here. So this public skepticism, already seeing that, right? Citizens questioning institutions and the official narratives, and even spiritual leaders they'll question too. We could see that with the movie. So you might notice yourself, you're no longer able to absorb other people's emotions. right? Or a creative project that you've had that's been rattling around in your head that you've never got to, like writing a book or creating a course, creating something, creating a song. Well, that vagueness will start to demand a structure, right? We will want to land. You'll feel that what this creative idea wants to land now. It needs embodiment. Old stories, right? Why something happened in your past, the story that you tell over and over and over again. Well, this is what happened. My dad left when I was 5, divorced, and blah, blah, blah. Whatever the details of your story is, will start to dissolve, right? And you're going to look at it from a higher vantage point. You'll see your front, an elevated perspective. You'll start to see your life. And it's like, that's why that happened. Right? It's like, it's looking at your life as a soul. You're on a soul's journey. Not that you were victimized as a child and you went through horrible stuff. You know? It's like getting out of the victim frequency and into the empowered soul position. Conversations become more meaningful. I look forward to that day. I'm so done with chit chat. I don't know about you people out there, but I am so done with chit chat, and I've always been done with chit chat, but now I'm like owning it. It's like, I want to know. You want to know how I am? Do you really want to know how I am, or you just want me to say I'm fine, so that you can continue on your robotic journey, right? Yeah. So conversations become deeper. People want meaning now. They don't want the fluff and the superficial anymore. The NPCs will still want that. Don't think that will be wiped out off the planet. But people on the spiritual path will demand more meaning, more depth, right? And it's like, asking yourself questions. It's like, what is this really teaching me? What's this relationship really teaching me right now? What is this experience really teaching me right now? From the depths, right? The depth. Okay. So if we go to, where do I want to go next? So that's the movie. So I may do another video. We'll see. On the movie, or maybe I'll just remind you of the movie. But remember that you have your own personal movie that you're here to see. But of course, we're going to be all affected by the collective movie too. So if we look at the 1 and the 2, it's interesting, isn't it? There's the sun. There's the earth, and there's the moon. And the moon's in Taurus, so that means the sun is in Scorpio right here. And we'll go into this because this is important. Whenever we see definition, we want to look at that, right? This is a global transit. So this is the binary, right? These are programming partners, the 1 and the 2. So we're Taurus, Scorpio binary. So line 1 is very, very creative. It activates the creative impulse. The creative impulse. This is pure yang. The first gate is yang. Second gate is pure yin. And it's new, right? This is new expression, right? It's coming from the south. The two of them are coming from the south. So the moon in gate 2 here, this is opening up the magnetic monopole, which I'll talk a little bit about. This is really important, the magnetic monopole. So this is the direction of the form, the direction of your vehicle. Your soul inhabiting this vehicle, and this is how your vehicle works. You have your own natal chart, but this is a transit. So you could look at like this as humanity, right? If we were to do a body chart for humanity right now, this is what it would be. So this receives, it's yin, right? It's feminine. It's the most feminine gate out of all the 64 gates. So it receives, it's very receptive, but it not only receives, it orients you on your journey. So at the collective level, this marks a reset for individual. See, that's an individual. Wherever it's in the middle, it's individual. It's an individual circuitry. So this is a reset for humanity. It marks individual direction. This is the age of the individual, is the phoenix. And I'll talk about this. So this is why authenticity is so important right now. So this is humanity's beginning to move from collective control. We've been enslaved to collective and tribal control since 1615, and we're moving more into an individual orientation. So basically, it's each human is learning to steer from within, rather than from the tribe or the system. And this is key for the solar plexus mutation, right? So if we look at the magnetic monopole, right here, and it lives in the sternum. And take note that it's called monopole. Right, so let's look at this because there's monopole here. So basically we have two crystals. I'll just go through this a little bit quickly here. So the design crystal, we have two crystals. The design crystal, and if you have your chart, your natal chart, you'll notice a bunch of numbers here in red on the left-hand side, and then black on the right-hand side. So that's called the design side, the red side. So the design crystal is about the body, and the personality crystal is consciousness. So they're two distinct frequencies. Form, right? The design side, that's your vehicle, and then consciousness, awareness on the black side. So the magnetic monopole binds them together, binds these two together, the black side and the red side. And together within a single trajectory so that we experience ourselves as one person. It keeps us in the illusion of separation, the magnetic monopole. So it keeps us in this illusion that we're one person. I'm Michael, and I'm moving through time and space, Without the monopole, the two crystals would just float away. They would drift apart, and there wouldn't be a continuous me. Right? There wouldn't be a continuous me. There wouldn't be a continuous you. And you wouldn't be perceiving the world in a coherent way. Right? Which is like, okay, today is October 31st and it's 11:36 p.m. and tomorrow is November 1st. Right? There wouldn't be that continuation. So it's really this magnetic monopole that generates the illusion of a separate individual self, the sense of I am here now and life is out here, So at the universal level, everything is one field of consciousness at the universal level. And the monopole's function is to fracture unity, all one. We're all connected. We're just one human organism in a sense, right? Or humanity, but we're fractured into these little unique perspectives, right? But we're all come from the unity, and we're going back into unity consciousness. We're going to have the realization and an experience of that we're all connected. So each person's geometry, which is your movement through time and space, your geometry of experience, it ensures diversity and differentiation. Otherwise, existence would be pure, undifferentiated. It would just be a blob, right? Like the Borg, just a big blob with no evolution and no story. And this is why the phoenix is so important. This is the first time in our human history where we are encouraged now, encouraged and empowered to be our unique, differentiated self, our design, to live our design as a differentiated, unique self, right? Which your ancestors couldn't do that. They would not be supported whatsoever, right? To do that. So while it keeps us in the illusion of separation, it does so in service of consciousness, exploring itself through form. You can kind of look at humanity as the nervous system of Earth, and we're all having our experiences. You're having your unique experience, and hopefully your unique experience that you're designed to have. That's the whole purpose of human design, that you have your experience. You're watching your movie. You're playing out your design, right? That you, that consciousness is learning and evolving through you, through me, as we embrace our unique self and have our unique experiences, right? It goes back to, because we're all one, so it goes back into the huge collective of humanity, those experiences. I'm getting like tongue-tied with the words. So it's in service to consciousness. It's in service to human consciousness, right? That it's learning it about itself. Consciousness is learning about itself through you, through me, through your community, through all these other different perspectives, if they're truly being their unique self. So it's the divine paradox, right? The riddle wrapped in a tortilla. The divine paradox is the one, right, becomes the many so that the many can remember the one. So we come from the one. We come from one consciousness, and then we incarnate to the many. There's all kinds of different us, all kinds of different humans that we come in contact with that are here on the planet. And but we're learning about one again through the many, through form, right? We have to learn this through form. So our bodies are really, really important right now, divine feminine, especially for you. So this is the divine mechanism that lets unity experience itself through our individuality. So unity is experiencing itself through individuality. And this is the illusion that makes evolution possible right now. Okay? So if you leave with anything, it's like, I'm not into what he's talking about. If you leave with any message, this is about embracing your authenticity. Number one is embracing your authenticity. Are you embracing your ego and your difference? No. I'll talk about this. You're embracing your essence. Your essence is unique. You have a unique frequency. That's what you want to align with. The Sleeping Phoenix is all about alignment now. Okay. So that's the magnetic monopole, and let's talk a little bit more about it. And this idea of home. And I feel the collective is really going through this. Like, what is home? I'm not talking about like a building that you live in, an apartment building, or a little, two bedroom house or whatever, right? Or condo, or wherever or even an RV, whatever your shelter is right now. That's a house. That's a structure. I'm talking about home, where you feel at home here, home on the planet, home inside your own body. Do you feel at home? right? So this is directly connected to the second gate is home, because we'll look at, so the second magnetic monopole, well, that's your compass. It's orienting you to where you're supposed to go, who you're supposed to be with, right? Your true fractal, your true relationships, your life, basically. The two helps guide you. But what do you have to do? You have to surrender. What does that mean? You have to surrender the mind and the ego to the divine. And then this activates your compass. So the shadow of the two is disorientation. It's feeling lost. Like, where's my home? That's really the question. Where's my home? And the gift is orientation, right? And the city is unity. So it's the return. It's the return home. And the home is inside you. Home is in your heart. So when the world enters, like I said, in the confusion and the doubt, when the world goes into confusion and begins questioning everything, the magnetic monopole is quiet, right? It's a quiet, still point in the chaos. Is your magnetic monopole. This is your inner GPS. It's your inner GPS here. And you may have this activated natally. So when people say, I just want to feel at home again, and if you know somebody with the 2, especially if you know somebody with the 214, the channel of the beat, right? If they have the whole channel, the 214, you want to hang with them. Call them up. I just want to hang with you. Can I just come over to your house and sit there? Right? And what will happen is they orient you. Their aura, they don't have to say a word. Their aura orients you. I've had close people in my life that had the 214. And I look back and I was completely oriented to where I'm supposed to be, right? Just by sitting in the aura. Let me know, anybody who's got the 214, put it down in the comment section. So this is, people want to feel this, especially now, because the earth, our true home is, yes, our bodies, but then as a humanity, it's really the earth gives us that sense of home and belonging. And the earth is going through her own evolutionary process, so it can feel really, really unstable right now. So this is really coming up for people, this sense of home and what's happening. Well, these earth changes and the changes of our society and our culture, well, everything's breaking down. We're going through a transformation, a rebirth, right? We're in the phoenix. We're the phoenixes, and the flames are around us. So this, I don't feel at home again. If you catch yourself saying that, like, where do I belong? I don't know where I belong. I feel like my life is somewhere else. I feel lost. That's the shadow. What you're really expressing is, I feel disconnected from my compass, right? Think of birds, like migratory birds. They have, I don't know if they've got a magnetic monopole per se, but they've got something that's guiding them, just like you, but we can name it. It's the magnetic monopole that's guiding you, but you have to be quiet and you have to surrender and trust your body. So there's a feeling of a collective disorientation of the gate 2's shadow, which is part of the evolutionary purification for the solar plexus mutation, right? So that this new awareness system can emerge. So the collective expression can be, I feel lost. One story is disappearing. My marriage is disappearing. My job and career is disappearing. The place of living is disappearing. But the new story hasn't showed up yet. I hear that from people that email me, right? And this is the old story of the cross of planning. Old story is disappearing, but the new cross of sleeping phoenix hasn't surfaced yet. So physically, this can create like a sense of homelessness on all levels. right? Physically, people can be moving or downsizing or migrating, seeking sustainable ground somehow. They can feel emotionally homeless, old relationships dissolving, new bonds feel uncertain. There can be mental homelessness, no longer believing the old narratives, but not yet clear on the new truth that's coming. So we're really in a liminal moment as a humanity. The magnetic field is resetting itself, and the Earth has her own magnetic field. It's being reset. And when the magnetic field weakens through solar flare activity too, which we've experienced a lot of that mainstream news isn't covering. Right? What happens then is like all the memories are contained within the magnetic field and they start releasing. And we saw that with when the movie was the 4722 here. So can we stay open? Can we, as a humanity, can we stay open enough to let the new coordinates appear? Right? So the first step home is this full moon in the second gate, line 1. And this is intuition and direction through receptivity. Right? So it's time to get out of the old way of doing. That's the masculine way. You want to get more into the feminine way, which is receptivity, quiet, spending time alone, listening to yourself. Right? And letting this will activate the second gate for you. If you have it natally or not, it doesn't matter. This is a global transit. Right? So the moon here will spotlight your instinct to find home again. Your instinct to find home again will start to be activated, but not by mentally figuring it out. Right? With the 63, 64 movie. It's not going to happen that, but it's by feeling it in your body. Your body will let you know, not your mind. So when the outer world feels unfamiliar, which it does, the task is to rebuild your orientation from within. You'll be driven crazy if you try to do the 63, 64 way, right? With confusion and doubt. And I got to figure all this out. You don't know. The change is just going to start really speeding up, right? We're like doing a warm-up lap right now, right? So this is really the time, and we've been given this grace to really align with the new way. And you want to align with your body, with your essence. You want to receive and go into a receptive state. You want to embrace the feminine. And then you'll rebuild your orientation. So home's not a location. It's not a zip code, right? It's not an address. It's the frequency in your aura when you're in alignment with your magnetic field. And it means slowing down. Right? That's the other thing you have to do is slow down. Okay. So with the 64, right, the movie Confusion and Doubt, this is the dream will start to dissolve. You'll see how lost you've been, right? The mind will test and sort and try to redefine, make meaning out of nothing. That's the doubt. So the gate 2 is the loss of external reference points, right? There'll be no reference points to refer back to, right? This is like lost in the ocean. You have no compass, you've got nothing, right? And this is this feeling of lost. That's the shadow of the 2. And then the active realignment, learning to trust new internal navigations. So we have to learn this new way, the old way of the mind, and figuring it out and strategizing in my 5-year plan, and I'm going to invest my money here and do this. No. That's cross the planning. It's dissolving. The new way is you have to get aligned with yourself first, right? With your essence first. Okay. So your body's resetting this compass. You can trust that. Okay. And can you come home into yourself without needing to return to the past? That's the other thing the mind does. I've lost this, so I'm going to go back to the past because I don't see anything surfacing here in the future, so I'm going to just recreate the past. You can't do it. Past is done. That experience is done. This is you learning. You're learning a new way of navigating through life now. So just things that like some themes that can come up for you during this time for this full moon is like the sudden desire to even move furniture around, right? Redecorate, nest, all your home stuff. It's attempting to anchor the frequency of safety. And am I saying that's wrong? No. If your body feels that, like, oh, I really want to change things in my environment, I want to let go of this thing so there's more flow, just trust it, right? Make sure that it's coming from your body and not your mind. Memories of childhood homes or past lives can surface. And this is the psyche is looking for coordinates. That's what the mind, it needs to reference something. It needs a form. So you're learning to sit in the unknown. You're learning to sit with uncertainty and be okay, right? Your coordinates are inside you, right? The center of your being, that's your new coordinates. The mind will freak out, right? That's just what the mind does. You let it freak out. You stay in your center. Remember, you're moving out of reaction. That's the solar plexus mutation too, is learning to not react to life and to the unknown, but just to sit in your center. There could be a deep pull towards nature. If your body's pulling you towards nature, it's like, I need to get away from technology. I just need to be in the woods with my dog or with a close friend, but preferably alone, right? And get recharged, discharge the energy into the earth, right? And this is the original. And nature's great. They've got programs in Japan where people, they're part of their healing, right? Their healing prescription is to go out in the woods and let nature work on you, right? It's you connecting to the electromagnetic field of the earth. Feeling lost until you reconnect with your own breath, rhythm, and create a flow. So if you find your mind starts spinning with anxiety, it's like, okay, I feel my feet on the ground. I'm breathing. Breathing is slowing down, right? It's like bring yourself back into the present now moment. That's your home. Your home is in the present now moment. Okay. So with the evolutionary, if we put it in context with the evolutionary energy, the solar plexus, as the solar plexus mutation unfolds, home will no longer mean home, because in the old cross of planning way, home meant belonging to a family, to a tribe, to a company, an organization, a group of friends, right? Or a system, right? Or a nationalism, like I belong to this country. I belong to this city, this state, this province, whatever, right? That's home's not going to no longer mean that. We're seeing the blurring of the borders and boundaries, right? That's part of Neptune and Pisces, but it's also this evolutionary process we're going through. So it's not going to, I belong to this group. It's going to be, do I resonate with this group? Does my frequency resonate with this group of people, this, whatever this organization is, right? And it's the ability to feel safe within your own frequency and to attract others who share in that frequency. So this is the new architecture of belonging that's coming for the cross of the sleeping phoenix. And it's going to be energetic. It's not going to be about institutions. That's cross the planning, right? It's not tribal. It's about energy. It's the energy that will bring us together. That's the self-organizing principle that's underlying all of this. That the second gate is aligned with, or it will orient you to that. You see, it's getting out of this mental awareness system here, but we're not quite in the solar plexus awareness, spirit awareness yet. We're in the process, right? We're still cooking like we're little muffins, and we're still in the oven. We're not quite cooked yet. But it doesn't mean you can't align with the new now. Okay, so this is a rehearsal. This full moon is kind of a rehearsal for the new humanity. We're learning to orient ourselves without a map, without an external map, without somebody else telling us this is your path, this is your way to go, or following others like lemmings, right? Where are they going? That's a dangerous game. It's all about individuality now. It's not about groupthink. Groups are not going to keep you safe. That's the old ego, right? That's the old ego promises. Just be in the group. You'll be safe in the group. That's your ancestors talking, right? You have to know your frequency, right? That's how you're going to get through these times, turbulent times that we're in and will continue to amp up, is to know your frequency and connect with yourself. Connect with yourself. And your magnetic monopole will guide you. Okay, so it's coming home through alignment. It's not an address, not something out there. It's about you aligning with yourself. You want to make sure that you're in alignment with yourself. And if you're not, you need to learn ways and tools to do that. So you're learning that home is not behind you. It's not your past. Home is not somewhere in the future. It's the still point within the storm within you. That's your home. And when the outer world dissolves, which means that you stop giving your power over to the outer world, you stop giving your power over to the karmic relationships and your false fractal, you pull back all your energy back to you, then your compass starts to turn on and to activate. Right? So then the gate 2 will say to you, you were never lost. Wherever you go, there you are. That famous book. You were just recalibrating. Do you know that feeling of the lost and there's no reference points? Especially when you go through an ego death, there's just nothing to hold on to. That's when you surrender, right? Okay. So this is not knowing where you fit. So let's bring it back to the solar plexus mutation in the second gate. It can be experiences like, I don't know where I fit. I don't know where I belong. I feel like an outsider wherever I go. And I've always felt like that. That's a sign the solar plexus is mutating. Relationships, they feel misaligned, or that person just does not get me. I've tried for years and years and they don't get me. They don't understand me, or they're empty and shallow. So also jobs, things that you would love to do before, they just feel like it's gone. They feel foreign and alien to you. They're not aligned with you anymore. Homes that no longer hold the same frequency. I don't feel like this is my home. I can't relax here, right? This is the shadow of disorientation at work. And this is the fractal grid is resorting itself. So the bargain's dissolving, right? So the bargain, the tribal bargain from the cross of planning. You do this for me, I do that for you. 1615, right? To 2027. The human glue, this is like the human civilization glue, is the bargain. I give my energy, my loyalty, my conformity, and in return, the tribe gives me a sense of belonging, safety, and support. And that bargain was lived in this, right? Part of this bargain lived in the solar plexus, because I'm talking about the solar plexus mutation, the 3740, right? The 47, the 1949, and the 59 and the 6. This was emotional exchange, right? Need and agreements. So now the mutation is breaking down these energetic contracts. These were energetic contracts. Right? And so partnerships that are built, marriages, partnerships that are built on duty, right? Playing a role, or fear of rejection, right? Are unraveling. Communities that once thrived on shared belief systems or hierarchies are fragmenting now, right? So vocations that were about security within the system, I get the job and I'm there for 25 years, I get my pension, I get my gold wash, and I go off, right? They're collapsing, right? Insurance plans, they're collapsing. These institutions are collapsing. This is the mutation that's happening. So what's left in the gap is, where's my place? Where do I belong? Where do I belong? This is why so many people feel homeless in their body, in their hearts, or their purpose right now. Right? So we've got to go to move to this new way, right? The old way is belonging through bargains. I fit because I contribute, right? In the new code is I belong through resonance. I fit because I'm authentic. There's emotional security via agreement, the 4037. Emotional awareness through honesty, the 3955. These are the new codes, right? The emotional awareness through honesty, the 59 and the 6. Coming together because of spirit, not because of bargains and this promise of safety and security. Community as a survival. I'm going to survive in the group, in the community. Now, community is a shared frequency field. It's not about a bargain. It's about your frequency, and the divine brings you together in relationship and community. Home is a structure, a family system, right? I'm the dad, you're the mom, you're the kid, you're the other kid, and this is how we work, right? We play these roles as the family. And now home, right, do the people, do I resonate with myself, right? I know my frequency. Do I resonate with these others? Yes. Am I present? Yes. Am I authentic? Yes. Are they present? Are they authentic? That's the new home. That's the new home. So this is why people are leaving marriages, they're leaving jobs, they're really leaving their religions, they're even leaving cities, right? Even though nothing looks wrong, really, right? It looks all great on the external, but you feel so shallow and empty inside. It's because your aura, right? If you're on the Phoenix path, if you're on my fractal, then your aura can no longer maintain these false bargains because you're coming more into your authentic frequency, right? And whatever is not true can't hold anymore. Whatever is not aligned with your soul can't hold anymore. Okay. So what do we want to talk about now? I think I want to talk about the 1-8 here. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the 1-8 because this is defined, right? And this is Uranus has moved back into the 8th gate. And then the 1st is the sun position. right here. So that creates a channel. So this gives us more information. So this is the last mask of the cross of planning here. So this is the collapse of emotional conformity of the cross of planning, that we had to emotionally conform. And this is the birth of authentic individuality. So basically, with the cross of planning, right, there's an emotional glue that has held the humanity together. Now, there's lots to talk about, so that I just want to quickly do a plug for this. The Solar Plexus Mutation online retreat, which I'll go deeper into what this mutation is about, how it will affect you as an individual according to your chart, and also look at tools that you can use, and just so you're prepared for 2027. And this comes with a deep experience of, because the thing is, the knowledge is already inside you. Even now, when I'm speaking, especially speaking about spiritual teachings, with the truth for you, you should feel it in your body. There should be like there's something, you'll feel it in your body, like, because it's my words are landing in your nervous system. It could be like a relaxation you may feel, or you may just feel like something's getting lit inside me. Well, that's the frequency of truth, right? So this retreat, November 21st to the 23rd, those are the core dates, but it's actually 14 days, gives you the experience of this solar plexus mutation, so that you can be prepared for 2027, 2026, and 2027. Okay, so we'll be doing a lot of meditation, Kundalini yoga meditation. There'll be tons and tons of teachings, and then you'll have your own chart, and what you'll look at a specific placement there, right, to help you kind of move with the energy. It's like, okay, I'm surfing this big tsunami wave. This is how I can do it, so I can really ease into this energy. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, but I'm also sharing with you some things here, because I think this is really important. And it's actually preparing. That's what I realized today or yesterday. It's like, oh, I'm preparing people that are called to be at this retreat. They may have not signed up yet, but they're called to be there. I'm preparing you for the retreat. Okay. So if we go to belonging, right? This emotional conformity, we're leaving this. Right? So this is the belonging through agreement, not through your truth, but just through an agreement. So you learn to say, if I really feel what I feel, if I feel what you feel, then we're safe. Right? So this, like, okay, everybody's angry about something. I'm angry too. I'm angry too. It may not be your truth. Maybe you're okay. It's like, I'm not angry, but the group around you could be your family members, your conditioning, your workplace, your group of friends, or whatever. You know, you often see this with people, with friends. They had a row with one of their friends, an argument with one of their friends, and the friends coming to you, who's part of this friendship group, and they're bad-mouthing the other friend, and they're basically soldier gathering, right? And it's like, I better be mad too. I better be angry too. And you see this with friends. You shouldn't talk to her because I'm mad at her. And it's like, what does that have to do with me? That's not my experience of this person. I don't have any issue with them. Well, the cross of planning is like, no, we're all angry. This is how it works. We're all angry, so we're going to scapegoat that other person. Right? And maybe you've been on the other end of that, where you're the one scapegoated. It's like everybody turns on you, and you just had like one issue with one person in the group. Right? So this is how this can work, emotional conformity. And I'm sure you've got some other examples of this too. Or if I think differently, I'll be abandoned. So I have to think like everybody else. Right? My identity, I have to conform my identity, with whatever group I'm in. So individuality would be emotionally punished in the Cross of Sleeping Phoenix. Be emotionally punished. So every human learned at some level, every one of us, we had to self-edit to be accepted. So this was the solar plexus in its unmutated state. So when it's just a motor, right? That's what it is now. So so an awareness center still functioning. So it's on its way. It's going through its Phoenix process too, the solar plexus, but it's not there yet. So it's headed to become an awareness system, not a motor. It's still functioning at a need, right? At a need, guilt, and manipulation. I need you to accept me. I need you to validate me. That's the unmutated solar plexus. So the emotional conditioning in the cross of planning was control through empathy. Be nice. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything else. Don't say anything at all then, right? Be seen but not heard. Don't upset anybody. Belonging through playing a role. Match the mood. To be loved. What's the mood? I'm reading the room. What's the room? What's the mood? What's the emotion? Okay, I'm going to fit in like a chameleon, and that's how I'm loved. Shame as a regulator. Don't stand out. It makes other people uncomfortable, right? Don't be shining too bright because your sister or your brother, they'll feel bad about themselves. Like this is how the unmutated solar plexus and the cross of planning worked. Image over essence, right? So you built identities up, right? This is my identity. I'm a teacher. I'm a healer. I'm a really good daughter. I'm a caring, compassionate friend. I'm a loyal wife, whatever it is. You built identities. That's the unmutated solar plexus instead of presence. Your uniqueness has nothing to do with your identity and the role that you play in life, right? So even rebellion became a brand. This is the black sheep, right? The black sheep, it's really a white sheep with black sheep over it. It's not really a black sheep. It still lived inside this emotional grid. So defining themselves. This is the shadow of the 8. Which is mediocrity, right? So this is defining themselves against the system. They're in reaction to the system rather than beyond it. They haven't transcended the system. That's true, right? Style and uniqueness, that's the gifts of the 8. So the 8's shadow of mediocrity is pretending you're unique. Right? Look at me, I'm so different, right? Inside collective permission. So the mutation of the solar plexus, the awareness, right? The awareness center of spirit, that's what it's mutating into. Moving from emotional reactivity to emotional awareness. So that shift dissolves the emotional bargain that kept us domesticated. We're not the wild stallions. We're like the domesticated horse. Even the ones that are pretending that they're unique. They're not unique. So we're moving from I belong because I make you comfortable. Right? I'm not stirring up any waters. I'm not showing you your shadows. I'm not being myself. I'm a wallpaper tofu person. Right? So your ego can stay comfortable. And that's the old way. Right? And now we're moving into I belong because I'm true. I belong because I'm authentic. So when this emotional energy stops binding us through guilt or fear of rejection, individuality can finally breathe, And has to do with the solar plexus mutation, right? So this channel of inspiration, it's the creative role model, becomes a template for post cross the planning humanity. So the gate 1 is pure creative energy without apology, and the 8 is contributing through authentic frequency, not playing a role. So after 2027, this circuitry becomes the heart of leadership. This is a leadership channel. It's in the present now moment, right? So no longer the teacher telling others what to believe, what to say, how to think, but the individual radiating alignment and allowing their uniqueness, right, to self-organize the field. And they did a study where they could measure the frequency. I think I mentioned this in one of my last videos. They measured different frequencies of people. So people that were angry, they measured that frequency. People that were in love, they matched that frequency, all these different frequencies. And you know what the top frequency was? Yeah, authenticity. That was the most powerful frequency. So when you embrace your authenticity, which is part of this sleeping phoenix energy, you empower. That's a big word for individuality, is you empower others to do the same. It's a very powerful frequency. And this allows the resonance. This moves through your field, and then you attract your true fractal, not your false fractal. Your false fractal's attracted to your false self, and you're not self, and there's no power there. So people are starting to I can't play this role anymore. I can't, because guess what? The program's not feeding that energy anymore to you. You can't keep the mask up. You got to use your willpower to keep that mask on, right? It's time to take the mask off. So authenticity is the new frequency, right? So here's how we can look at it, because the mediocrity, because you just think, mediocrity, those are the people, they're the NPCs. You know that old joke, how can you tell if, I won't tell that joke. I don't want to be insulting anybody. But what was I going to say? So in terms of, I know what I wanted to say. So mediocrity, we can look at it as it's just, right? It's just the people that they just blend in. Like they're the tofu people. They take on whatever flavors around them, right? They don't stand out. But the other side of it are those people that do stand out. And they stand out from their egos. These are the loud, boisterous people. They want attention. These are the people that have the carefully curated image. It's like they got a recipe card and they're following it. This is what it means to be cool. This is what it means to be interesting. I need to like this kind of music. Okay, I got that. Tick, tick. And I need to read these books and like these books. And I need to like these movies. Blah, blah, blah. And they got the recipe card and they think they're so different and they're so interesting, right? And they stand out, but there's so many of them that are like this, right? And they call themselves the black sheep. So this is where you have more, and they don't really like, there's no energy there. It's just all about image. Look at my image, trying to control their image, how other people perceive them, right? But there's no juice there. And so the new juice is authenticity, that there's a passion, that you actually do like these things. That's a lot different. I have a lot more respect for people that genuinely love the Spice Girls, than the person who's pretending that he loves John Coltrane, because he's supposed to like John Coltrane because that makes him interesting and cool, but it's not authentic, right? So authenticity, does that mean I like the Spice Girls too? No, but I can have mad respect for somebody who actually likes that music, like truly likes it and is authentic in that. Well, there's energy there. I love that, right? Because that's where all the life is. All the life is not this image. There's no power in this anymore because it's not true. It's not aligned. So that's the essence of this Phoenix age. It doesn't matter what you love, only that it's real. Only that it's real. So look at your life. Are you curating any part of your image? Am I doing this so I can impress other people, so that I can seem interesting? What's the most interesting thing about you is your authenticity. That's what's most interesting. That's the frequency. And out of that comes whatever the things are, how that expresses itself. But people will be drawn to your authenticity, right? That energy, that's your uniqueness. So you want that to be true right now. So take a survey, do an inventory of your life, right? Is this true? Is this true for me or not? Right? Am I inheriting some kind of beliefs and hobbies and things like that because I thought it would impress people? Right? Drop all that stuff. Just whatever is true. That's what's left for you. And the thing is, if you love something, like music I used to listen to as a teenager, I still love it now. I still listen to it now, because that doesn't go away when it's authentic. Okay. So the last mask of the cross of planning is this mediocrity, right? But its emotional costume, if we go to the emotional costume, is superiority, right? This makes me superior to other people. It's just like, if the other thing is I have respect for people that maybe their expression is not grammatically correct, or they've written something and they got a bunch of typos and the grammar's off and whatever. But if there's spirit there, I respect that more than something that's like perfectly formatted, right? The grammar's perfect, the word salad, all of that. They're not saying anything. I like the person that's not imperfect, but they're authentic. Because again, it's got energy. It's got energy and life to it. Right? So this is the thing, the superiority. We're seeing that. Superiority comes with separation. It comes with hierarchy. And that's all crumbling too. Right? That's crumbling as well. And so the superiority thing is like, look at me. I'm not like them. I'm not like the sheep. No, you are like the sheep. Right? That's the joke. My image proves that I have value. No, there's no value in image and in authenticity and not self. So this is all ending, right? The glamour, the superiority, the curated image, that's all, right? That's all ending. And it's basically the ego that fears invisibility, right? And the emotional drive is, if I'm special, then I'll be safe. If I'm special, people will love me and pay attention to me. And that's going away as well, too, with the solar plexus mutation, right? And all this does is just, right? It just completely suppresses the individual. Because even the black sheep, which are really white sheep, wearing black sheep clothing, they have their costumes to wear, right? They're wearing their costumes. Okay. And this is the solar plexus defense system, is when real emotional connection, right, is unbearable, that you're transparent. Remember, transparency and honesty coming with this leaping phoenix, and the ego comes in, the ego of the solar plexus, and then it's like, I got to put this image up. I need to be superior. I can't be vulnerable, right? Okay. So with the 55, we'll just go into that quickly. The 55, because the 55 is going through a mutation there, and that's off the solar plexus too, and that's all about spirit, right? So the old frequency with the 55th gate pre-solar plexus mutation is needing others, trends, or substances to feel alive, right? Needing others to feel alive. Trends, needing to be special, needing to be interesting, right? That's the old pre-mutation. But as this mutates, it will mutate into spirit awareness, and that's the ability to sense whether life contains consciousness, right? Or is it merely faking consciousness? When the 55 starts to mutate, then we'll be able to see and feel the spirit of other things. Oh, that person with the curated image, there's nothing there. It's all hollow. There's nothing there. You'll be able to see it and feel it. That's why don't be putting your fear in AI. AI is a beautiful tool. It's an amazing tool, but it doesn't have consciousness. It lacks consciousness. You'll be able to feel that with the mutated 55. So you'll see some AI generated video that looks beautiful on the surface, but you'll be able to feel with the 55, it's like there's nothing there, right? It's completely devoid and empty. So you'll be able to also see this with people and feel with people. It does this embody spirit, right? So this is the ability, the 55 is the ability to feel everything without losing yourself, right? Okay. So we can see this with decline in celebrity culture, right? With Hollywood is kind of disappearing too. That's one of the institutions. It's because we're not drawn to the polished image anymore. Even with television, mainstream news, people aren't interested in that polished thing, the polished Hollywood movies, polished Hollywood TV shows, right? Polished celebrities. Now people are more drawn to like podcasts, live streams, YouTube creators, right? They want unfiltered conversation. They don't want a scripted perfection soundbite thing. No, they want authenticity. They don't want glamour. They want authentic connection. They don't want to be a passive audience consumer anymore. That's why people want interactivity. They want to be writing comments, right? They want that interaction. And they want communities as frequency fields. They want emotional awareness. They don't want emotional manipulation anymore. Okay. So you can sense just authenticity frequency. People are becoming more attuned to that. And that's from the solar plexus starting to mutate. You can sense when somebody's actually there. And you can also, you can feel the frequency of emotional truth through the human voice, right? It's an energetic handshake. I'm speaking to you right now, but I'm energetically handshaking with you. You can feel if it's true or not, what I'm saying. Does it resonate with you or not? Decentralization, no more gatekeepers of taste, right? No more the gatekeeper of the trendsetters anymore. Right? The trendsetters dictating what the trends are for the masses. There's no gatekeepers anymore. It's all being decentralized. And these institutions are losing control of the narrative, right? The gate 1-8 is like, I'm writing a book. I don't need to go through the publisher and the business plan and all this rat-tat-tat. I just self-publish now. You see how the gatekeepers are falling away now. And this is this individual. This is the Phoenix energy, right? We're going to have so many entrepreneurs and creatives coming out of the woodworks when people start aligning with this frequency. And transparency over performing. So we prefer to witness a creative process in action rather than watching perfection. So the old show was about appearance and image, and the new show is about presence. It's about presence. Okay. Let's see where I want to go next. I'm getting a little bit tired, so 1 hour and 35 minutes. That's crazy. Okay. Let's go right to the reading. Do you see? That's why I need to do a whole retreat on the solar plexus mutation. This is just like a tiny tippy tip of the iceberg to share with you. So keep that in mind, everybody. The ones that are called, I want the right people to arrive, and you'll know because you'll feel it in your body. It's like, yes, I know I need this. I need this experience to unlock myself, right? So go to my website. I'm going to write up there, and then you sign up, and you're going to be tapped right into the energy. That's what the people say. As soon as I sign up, I feel like something happened while you're in the energetic construct. Okay, so November 21st to the 23rd are the core dates, and it's all recorded, so you don't have to be there live. I know there's a lot of people, my audience is pretty international, which I love, that you can watch the replays. You can watch the replays and attend the ones that you can. Okay. So let's go to the readings here. And this is a fractal read. Okay. What did I put here? Just kind of things to do just quickly right here. I may do a longer in the comment section. If you look in the comment section, I'm going to elaborate more on these. Okay. In the written section. Okay. So you want to come home to your frequency. That's gate 2. Things that you can do. You want to let your authenticity be your light. So commit to your authentic self. It's the most important thing you can do right now. To speak your truth. Don't self-censor yourself. If something's coming up that needs to be said, say it. Right? If you're doing something that doesn't feel authentic to you and you feel like you're doing it to people please, you're in a relationship and you're not yourself, you don't feel like you can be yourself, you need to leave. If you're in a false fractal, right, these friends, it's better to be alone. And usually these friends are friends of habits, right? Can I be myself? Am I relaxed? Am I open? Do I feel like I could just say anything, even if it differs from the other person, right? The other person isn't feeling that, or the other person doesn't believe in that. Can I just be myself? And that's the beauty of being an individual. When you're a unique self, you want everybody else to be unique too. You honor their uniqueness, even if it differs, like that person who loves the Spice Girls. Right? And it's like, well, I don't like the Spice Girls, but I really enjoy that you love them and it's real for you, right? We don't all have to get along in that sense. We don't all have to be Borg and think alike, but we can admire, right? We can admire each other in our own diversity and uniqueness, right? We're all unique flowers in this garden, basically. So that's what I would definitely say, and make little baby steps. Oh, I don't know if I could be. I don't know. Just make a baby step. I'm committing to be myself today. And then you want to discern through feelings. not confusion and doubt. You want to go back to the body. You want to release the image that you have in your head of what it means to be a loyal spouse, what it means to be a good daughter or a good sister or a good life coach or a good teacher. You want to drop all that image, right? You want to return to presence because it's an overlay. It's keeping you separate from others because you've got this image in your head that I have to live up to this image. Well, a spiritual teacher or life coach would never say that, right? We have to drop this. This is the inauthenticity, not self. Then you want to do a full moon ritual for the illumination. And I'll list something you can do there. So you want to write about the parts. What parts of your identity are you ready to release? Right? What costumes, what borrowed beliefs? And burn or bury the paper, right? Letting the smoke or soil carry those images away. Who am I trying to impress? And that's the thing with inauthentic people. You're trying to impress this person. I'm trying to impress this person and make them look right, validate and accept me. Oh, look at her. She's really interesting. I want to listen to her. I want to pay her attention, right? Well, this person is usually wanting attention from another person. They're trying to impress another person. That person's trying to impress somebody else. Do you see how it works? When you're like, screw it, I'm dropping all of this. I'm dropping the script and I'm just going to be myself. And then see who comes into your field. How would that feel like? That person that you're trying to impress. That person you want their attention. You want their validation. Imagine just a moment. I'm going to stop doing that, right? I don't want their attention. I don't want their validation, right? I don't need that anymore. And then start to act like that you don't need their validation. And then see what happens, right? This is like you're undressing. The phoenix has to get naked first, right? That little bird's got to get naked in the fire. So let all this stuff burn away. That's not you. Okay, so let's go through this, the fractals. So I do deep prayers before I start pulling the cards here. So what's the light revealed for my fractal? We got the King of Wands there. And this is the collective flame of purpose is reigniting. The Knight of Wands is passion, right? Very, very passionate. On purpose, doing their soul purpose. I'm excited. I'm jumping out of bed to do my soul purpose. It gets me going. It motivates me. And this is good energy to have, right? The world feels hopeless. There's all the doom scrolling and the fear mongering and, right, all the things happening in the world. You turn your head and go, I'm focused on my purpose and creating the new earth, the new phoenix energy era that's coming, right? That's when you're aligned with your uniqueness. Doesn't mean you put your head in the sand and you don't look at the world. Yeah, no, you look, but you don't get absorbed, right? So you observe, but not absorb that energy. You don't feel victimized by it. It's collapsing. So this is good. The fractal's reigniting. So this card is saying to step into your creative power, right? Step into your creative power. And the Fire King, the Knight of Wands, or the King of Wands, doesn't wait for approval. It doesn't wait for permission. It moves from inner conviction. And you'll notice Mercury and Mars are in the 34th gate. So this is like you move, right? You move from that inner conviction. And it mirrors the sun in the first gate, which is the creative, right? This is pure creative fire in motion. And this is the masculine energy, right? The masculine energy, the yang. So the fractals remembering that leadership is not about control. It's not about control. It's about radiance, anchored in integrity, not about control. So this is good. Purpose, on fire, right? King of Wands is on fire. And then the shadow of disorientation is the Two of Wands here. So the fractal's looking out to the horizon and they're unsure which path is home. What path is home? So this reflects the gate two's confusion, the temptation to search outside for a direction, right? Right? She's looking out there on the horizon. So the guidance is stop looking at options out there. There's no energy for you looking out there anymore, right? So you're starting to feel the pull. You're starting to feel that pull to go inside, to trust that. And we're heading into the winter months, winter solstice. That's a very internal time. Right? So the right path will magnetize you, but you need to align yourself first. That means quiet, spend time alone, listen to yourself, and your body will magnetize you. That magnetic monopole will start to activate and it will magnetize you. You don't need to strategize and do plans, business plans, and blah, blah, blah. That's all across the planning stuff. You need to align with yourself first. And then your authentic expression, very, very good. Ace of Swords. This is crystal clear truth. It's the Ace of Swords. And it cuts through all the fakery, right? All the fakeness of other people and the fakeness within your own self. So this is the sword of discernment. It's the new 63, 64 movie, right? So you're meant to speak what's real, right? Not what's grammatically correct or make you interesting because you use this word and that word, and you threw a word salad at someone with a side of dressing. And it's like, no, you're very precise in your communication, and it's real and it's authentic. That's what has power. And if you're not used to speaking that way, then your voice will start to crack. Your fifth chakra will start to quiver. But you push through that with the Ace of Swords, and I'm going to speak what's real, right? And if somebody's there grammatically correcting me, you didn't use that word right, it's like you pierce through it. You don't let that get in. This is what I'm communicating. That's what matters. Not how I'm communicating, right? This is the message coming through me, and it's real and true. And they're simple and they're raw, not polished. You're not editing. You're not writing a letter, and this is what I'm going to say, and you're editing. It's like in the present now moment, that's when you're connected to the truth and your power. So one true sentence, right, has more spirit than 100 beautiful lies, right? One true sentence that you speak has more spirit than 100 beautiful, composed lies, right? So this is what you want to embrace for this full moon. It's like, I'm going to speak it, and I'll speak it raw. It's true, and you'll feel that energy just moving through your whole body. That's when you know you're aligned with truth. Okay. And the power. Remember, we're moving into the age of Aquarius, and it's the age of truth. So when you speak the truth, you're aligned with this amazing power of the universe, right? To speak your truth. Okay. And you can clear environments, right, from the lies just with that sword of truth. So your emotional discernment is the Five of Pentacles reversed. So this is healing the wound of exclusion, the outsider. You're healing the wound of the outsider, right? If I really speak my truth, then I'll be exiled. If I really say what I feel, I'll be shamed. I'll be rejected, right? But because it's reversed, it means that the door to belonging is starting to open up for you. Right? So this means, but it's coming from inside you. because you can feel this sense of belonging within your own body now. So no more seeking belonging to false friends, false fractals, false relationships, anywhere that you can't be yourself. Anywhere where you're seeking validation and approval from others, you're no longer doing that. You're learning that home is in alignment with your authenticity. That's your true home. Not being accepted and validated by false fractals and false relationships, right? It's coming from within you. The illumination, the integration is the Death card and the Queen of Wands. And look at the bookends, the King and Queen of Wands. That's beautiful. There, these two are divine counterparts. So the Death is the release of the costume, the mask that you're wearing, right? Your curated identity. Well, I'm this with this person, and I'm this identity, and I wear this mask with this group of people. You're letting it all go. It's too much energy, right? You're exhausted. If you're exhausted, tired all the time, then you got too many masks, too many balls up in the air that you're juggling, right? So the Queen of Wands is the rebirth when you let the false self die, and she's embodied magnetism. She's the embodiment of magnetism. She's confident, she's creative, she's warm, she's real. So you want to let the persona, the pretense, the masks die so that you can be present. Let your presence live now, not your masks. And then when you burn away the imitation, your charisma returns to its natural light. So this is the sacred feminine and masculine imbalance. And this is command, right? And then this is radiance. And between them is the Ace of Swords, which is the sword of truth. You're healing, feeling in exile, like hiding, the High Priestess in hiding. And then the two releases indecision. The Two of Wands releases indecision, and together they form the mantra, lead with truth, lead with your authenticity, right? Not who you think you should be, but who you actually are. And your home is where authenticity burns bright. So the people in your life where you feel you can be your authentic self, that's very, very good. And if you don't have that, that's very, very good too. You withdraw and you commit to your authenticity, and then you'll draw in your true fractal, right? Okay, so that's the fractal, and then let's go for the TFs. The TFs, the twin flames. So the twin flames, I want to say, it's a mirror union. It's a mirror union. So this is a consciousness that's emerging as part of the solar plexus mutation, right? That we're in right now. And this is the awakening in humanity. So the twin flame dynamic is a symptom of that mutation. So it's two polarized beings meeting so that the emotional truth can be revealed, not the mental projection. So when this mirror appears, it exposes everything false, right? The twins, the twins cross paths, right? And then the mirroring starts. So everything that's false starts to emerge, and everything that's real, the real authenticity and essence, starts to get refined. So the purpose isn't union in form. So you need to remember that the purpose of the twin flame connection is not about coming into union, but it's about clarity and essence, the clarity of your essence, the clarity of the twin's essence. So this is recognizing love is frequency that exists before roles in timelines or possessions, right? Possessiveness. So just remember that you've been activated. If you're on the twin flame path, right, you've been activated, and that's enough. Right there is the activation, and that's the vibrational recognition that exposed everything in you that still needs to be integrated. Right? Everything in that connection was exposed and revealed so that you can integrate it. Right? So this is the mirror union, right? So the more you let go of your projection, because this is what the twins do. They project on each other, right? But it's coming from them, coming from each of the twins. So they project on each other. They can't see each other clearly, right? They identify with their ego. The more you let go of that, the more clearly you perceive the essence of the twin, right? And your own essence. So it's not about possession or reunion. It's about truth, coming to the truth without the distortion. That's why the ego death has to happen, right? So this was your spiritual booster, the ones that are on the twin flame journey, and the ones that I've met so far through my readings and stuff. They go through a lot of suffering and pain, and I completely understand what that pain is, and that's the ego that is dissolving. It's a huge ego death that the twins have to go through, and a lot of people don't understand what it is, especially if you're not on the twin flame journey, and even your twin may not understand what you're going through, but that doesn't matter. You're having this experience, right? And it's an ego death. It's an ego death. So remember that, to not be chasing the mirror. The mirror came and saw you got to reveal yourself, and that's your soul. The soul of the twins, right, brought each other together so that your essence could be revealed. Your essence and what's covering up your essence could be revealed and exposed. So it's like a spiritual booster. And everything that connection revealed is now your curriculum. It's your schoolwork now, right? So this is the solar plexus mutation in action with the twin flames, right? They're learning, it's consciousness learning through emotional intensity, and the mirror was never meant to possess, right? You're not running to the mirror and I need to own the mirror. That's what you're doing when your ego is reaching for the twin. It was just meant to expose. It was meant to expose. So the energy of the meeting opened layers, buried layers of feeling and intuition and truth, so that your spirit could inhabit more fully. Right? Okay. So the mirror really was never outside of you, right? On the twin flame journey, it was the way your soul showed you itself, right? So once you've seen the truth, you're forever changed. So you don't chase the reflection, you embody the light that it revealed, right? So keep an elevated view on this connection. It doesn't follow the rules, some things just do not follow the rules. And twin flame connections do not follow the rules of the cross of planning, right? So let's do the reading. So just keep that in mind. As soon as you're in that state of suffering, that means that you're in the ego and you're chasing the reflection. You're chasing the reflection. It's like, no, just take the reflection and pull back your energy to yourself. Okay. So, the illumination of love for this full moon for the twin flames. Well, that's the Two of Pentacles here. So, love for the twin flames, divine feminine, is revealed as a balance, and it's dynamic. It's ever moving. It's not a fixed form, and it goes through its ups and downs. It's ups and downs. And that's typical of the twin flame connection. is up, really up days, really down days. And that's the solar plexus mutation at work. So the soul is learning to dance between connection and independence, between human relationship and the energetic union. So the message is to hold the spiritual connection, and then the energetic spiritual connection of the twin flame, and then the actual human part, right? The human, without collapsing into either, right? So not getting too far into the spirit and the spiritual, and then on the same token, not getting too caught up into the human, the logistics and right of the twin flame connection. It's like the balance. But to me too, this is also about the balance of the emotions. That sometimes, the emotions are up. That's just another purification going on in your solar plexus. Sometimes it's really down, and there's anger there, and there's grief and sadness, and then there's joy and happiness and gratitude. It's like, it's living. The connection is living, right? It's a living frequency that's evolving. But it's not about getting caught up into the form and what that's going to look like, right? Okay. So this is the, if we look at the second gate, this is this is about staying centered while life is shifting around you, while your emotions are shifting around you, just to stay centered. And then what about the reflection? What's your counterpart reflecting back to you? The magician, right? So your counterpart is mirroring your own creative power. So what you admire or fear in your counterpart, your twin, is the reflection of your own mastery, of your own power. Your own power, your own magician energy is trying to emerge, and you're seeing it in your twin. So this is the 1-8 channel, right? And this is saying that your individuality is becoming expression. This is emerging, it's surfacing in you now. Whatever you see in your twin, you're going to see in yourself, right? So this magician, or maybe you're seeing this, you're not seeing the creative power. Maybe you're seeing your twin isn't claiming their creative power. Same thing, whatever you're seeing, it's something that you need to see in yourself. So this is about showing you how powerful you are, right? When you stop waiting for permission to create, when you stop trying to impress people, right? When you stop trying to seek validation from other people. Oh, please give me permission to create. When you just create for its own sake. You're not looking for applause. You're not looking for validation, right? You're not looking for your ego identity to be fed. No, you're creating because you want to, right? Because the desire, your soul desire is there. You're creating from right? Overfill. That's where you're creating from here. So you're seeing that power. And then the Page of Swords reversed is what you have to release. And this is the mind, right? The mind that's spinning. I need to understand this. I need to understand this connection. This is like the mental static. What's this mental static keeping you from? It's keeping you from the solar plexus, right? The energy of the twin flame connection and the emotional energy wants to surface, but you're in the Page of Swords reverse, keeping that from surfacing, right? And this is connected to the magician energy. So you're afraid to feel it, right? You're afraid to feel it. So you stay up in your head, overanalyzing, stalking, guessing, going back and forth in the duality of your mind, reading signs, right? Spying. This is like the spying card, spying on their social media, what they're doing, what are they up to, right? Maybe doing tarot reads on them, things like that. And this is the mind that wants to know, the mind that wants certainty. Like, what is this connection? Because it doesn't follow the rules, right? This is Phoenix relationships. It's not cross the planning relationships. It's new. So the mind wants to know, the mind wants certainty, but your heart just wants to feel, right? So that's what's driving this, is the avoidance. You're avoiding the feelings. You're avoiding your feelings. And so that's stopping, allowing yourself just to feel, not getting caught up in the looping mind that's keeping you from this. Because the twin flame connection wants you to grow. It wants you to evolve. It wants you to be your authentic self, right? So you want to release the need to monitor, right? Your twins' thoughts or their behaviors. You just want to feel. And communication has to come through frequency, not through strategy. It comes through frequency, not through strategy. So when you stop trying to read their script, the mirror clears. Right? And remember that the twins are connected. They have telepathic gifts, right? So you can be communicating with your twin when you're in your authentic self. And are you communicating through words? No, you're communicating through frequency. The more that you're in your authenticity, the stronger your connection becomes, right? When you're in your own authentic frequency. And then the mirror starts to clear. And that means the projections that you have on your twin, right? That illusions, the fantasies, maybe the negative projections. They're trying to control me. They're trying to manipulate me. Whatever it is, they start to clear. The mirror becomes clearer, and then you're able to see your twin's essence, which is like a direct resonance with your essence, right? But this is stopping you. So the Page of Swords has to go for this full moon. So watch your mind, right? Watch your mind. When you're avoiding your feelings. And then the Five of Cups says there's grief here, right? So the grief is the loss of fantasy, right? The loss of a fantasy. So he's looking at the 3 cups that are empty there, not seeing the 2 cups behind. So this is like mourning. There's a mourning. There's a grief of what could have been, right? This amazing connection, right? This amazing relationship. It had so much potential. Maybe you saw the potential of this connection. So there's a holy grief there, right? And maybe the other twin didn't see the power of this connection. They just threw it away. They just disposed of it like it was garbage. This connection, which is so sacred, right? One of the most sacred connections on the planet are the twin flame connections. So you have to mourn that, right? They couldn't see. They couldn't step up in their power, right? You saw them. You saw them in their greatness. You saw their potential, but they wouldn't step into it for whatever reason. So this is holy grief that you have to feel, right? It's the washing away of the emotional residue, right? So this behind the 3 of spilled cups there are the 2 of cups. They stand upright. And this is the eternal connection that will never die, right? Here, it will always be there. But the form, you have to grieve the form that could have been, right? So you want to allow the sorrow to soften you, not harden you. And then forgiveness is how the solar plexus will move into awareness. So it's about forgiving yourself and your twin. So this is aching, right? The aching of seeing the potential of a connection while sensing the other person, right? Can't meet you in the same awareness. So it's the grief of the unrealized potential. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that's your emotional work there, is to let that go. And then the path of illumination is the Queen of Swords reversed and then the Ace of Wands. So this is like to beware of the Queen of Swords using the intellect again, Page of Swords and Queen of Swords, as armor, another avoidance tactic, cutting off your feelings or retreating into superiority. And the Ace of Wands wants to ignite a new passionate beginning, truth spoken through warmth rather than defense. So this is to say, lay down your cards, lay down your sword, right? Lay down your defensiveness, lay down your judgment, and pick up your authenticity. That's all you have to do, is align with your authenticity and just be yourself, right? So don't let your mind dominate. That's what I see with this reading. It's your mind is trying to dominate what your soul wants, which is to become the phoenix. It wants you to transform. It wants you to step into your power, right? And it doesn't come from the mind. You don't know what it's going to look like, right? When you step into your power, you don't know what form that's going to take here. Yeah. Okay. So the Two of Pentacles balances the polarity. The Magician activates your self-mastery. Page reverse clears mental projection, any mental projection you have on the twin. And the Five of Cups heals emotional loss. And the Queen reversed and the Ace of Wands, they birth a new creative fire. So the mirror union is not ending. It will never end. The mirror union will never end. It's simply transforming. So as you drop the story, you reclaim the magic, right? So this is about you just being honest in your authentic self. Okay. So this was a bit long, I think, probably long. So just a reminder that Solar Plexus Online Retreat, November 21st to the 23rd. And tune in to yourself. What am I feeling? What am I feeling? Right? And your soul will let you know if this is for you or not. Okay, so you can follow me on Instagram. Not a lot of action there, but definitely on YouTube, my community posts. And subscribe, right, to that, and then you'll be notified. And then I'm also on Telegram too. So I post daily about the daily transits. Okay, everybody. So have a great week, and I will see you in the next video. Take good care and be yourself. Commit to that. 100% I'm committing to be myself. Okay. So namaloa, everybody. Bye-bye.